Okay, so thank you so much once again for joining at the Buddha Center. And today we will explore. Uh, I have given a name of this session that the parks of being curious. What kind of benefit we can get if we can become curious, or if we can remain you know, uh, an eternal student throughout our life. We all know that curiosity is one of the main ingredient in learning something new, but it has some tangible, measurable, positive effect on our mental health and on our brain health. So some of you already know that I try to connect the dots between Buddhism and the modern psychology, specifically positive psychology, or the modern neuroscience. Uh, I am not a psychologist, but I started walking on this path after my own mental health crisis, and I talked to many doctors, I talked to many psychologists, doctors mean psychiatrists, and I got knowledge from them. I got to know about their experience with dealing with different kind of people afflicted with different kind of mental health issues. And also I love to read about different research, different article, and to learn something where we can you know become better uh, in terms of our mental health and in terms of our brain health. So today we will explore the connection between curiosity and our well-being. And I will also discuss a couple of research where it was found that there is some link between the curiosity and our well-being. But let us first try to understand what happens when we are curious. So when we are curious, or when the curiosity is triggered, uh, the brain actively try to hunt for information. So that becomes kind of a workout for our brain. You must have observed that you are interested about a particular topic, maybe traveling to a particular place, maybe you were curious about a particular writer, maybe you were curious about a particular movie or sports or um, anything, and you try to find those information on internet, on television, on local radio, sometime so mysteriously that you thought it's a kind of divine intervention or it's a kind of like you manifested all those things. Actually, the science behind that is, earlier also all those things were in front of your eyes, but your brain was not attentive. But the moment you became curious about a particular topic, the brain started hunting those information. So the moment you were scrolling up and down on your social media, the brain points it out. The moment you went to a shopping mall, you find out a particular poster or a sign, your brain found it out. Or maybe you're just reading some books and there was one line which was specifically was about that thing which you were interested about. The brain detected for you. uh, but it's not about something mysteriously come. Earlier you were not paying attention because the brain was passive to it, but the moment you became curious about something, the brain actively tried to hunt that information. And it happens with all of us. You can, remember something like this, that you try to find something and information started coming to you through social media, through YouTube, maybe through someone from the second life, because your brain was alert to find that information. This is the first thing what happens. The second thing, that whenever we are curious or the curiosity is triggered, the brain's reward system, yes, we have a inbuilt reward system in our brain. So that reward system release dopamine. Uh, I think some of you who had attended a few sessions here, you already know about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is responsible for our pleasure and motivation. What happens when this dopamine get released when you are being curious about something? Uh, it it leads to some kind of pleasurable moment and motivation, and because of that, your learning becomes much more enjoyable. It does not become a very boring, dry kind of learning, but you enjoy that learning. And it also improves your ability to absorb more information. So when you are curious, it's not just a psychological state that, oh, I want to know something, I want to learn this language, I want to, I want to play this game, or maybe something new. Biologically, neurobiologically, the dopamine is getting released, and because of that, you have more motivation and you have a kind of pleasure learning that thing. You don't become bored, and it does not become a monotonous. There is another which is more fascinating. You can say, it's a more uh, interesting thing, and which is known as a spillover effect. What is this spillover effect? When curiosity is triggered, yeah, it leads to better learning of information that you are searching for. But here is the fascinating stuff. You even become better learning of unrelated information. So suppose maybe you are interested about a particular country, maybe you are planning to go there for a vacation, maybe you are searching about Paris in France, or maybe Machu Picchu in Peru, maybe in India, my country. You all are welcome to India. Uh, what is happening? You are even becoming better learning unrelated information. And even after that curious state, this learning phase stays even after 24 hours. So suppose, for example, let me explain you through a very easy example. Today, you are searching about some information about Paris, the food, the culture, what are the different places you will visit in Paris, which place to stay, which is near to some tourist attraction. Uh, but suddenly some other countries information came to you, maybe Spain, maybe India, maybe London, Switzerland. Your brain absorb that information also faster, even after 24 hours. So this is known as spillover effect. Uh, so when you are being curious, this state sustains for 24 hours, which is amazing for a brain. So it's a kind of this curiosity puts your brain in a, like absorbing mode for more new information. Also, uh, through different research, it has been found that any curiosity driven activities, it could be anything, maybe learning a new language, maybe learning some new mental health concept, maybe uh, learning new sports, maybe meeting with new people, maybe trying a new cuisine, something which is new, which is out of curiosity. It is linked to slower cognitive decline. So, as you all know, that when we age, the the brain goes through cognitive decline. But any kind of curiosity driven activities are linked to slower cognitive decline. It's not like that it will stop the cognitive decline, but the rate of decline will be slower. So even at the age of 70, 80, you can remain sharp and you can remain alert and you can have a better memory. And there are many people you can find in the society that they are very old, maybe 90, 95, but still they have got a wonderful memory. They can remember things pretty fast. They are fully functional. They can do something with their brain, maybe some kind of games, maybe playing chess, maybe calculating, maybe speaking a different language. So you have seen it. So examples are there in our society. uh, I have seen people like that. There is a author. No, he's not an English author. He's a Bengali author. So Bengali or Bangla is my local language. That is my mother tongue, and I love reading book of an author. He's a Bangla author, Bengali author, and he's 92. And few days back, I was watching an YouTube interview of that author, and he is so sharp at his memory. You know what happened 50 years back. He was just narrating. There is no verbal fluctuations. He is speaking like he's just 50, 60 years old. So examples are there. Now let us talk about some research. So there was one research which was conducted for 10 years. So it was a 10-year long study, and it found a stronger link of being curious with a sense of purpose and meaning. Uh, it is not in a philosophical sense, but um, we as a human being, we have different kind of need. I don't know whether you have read about Maslow's hierarchy. It was pretty popular. Even I have read it when I was doing my master. There was a subject called organizational behavior. It was a subject of a psychology, and I got to know about Maslow's hierarchy, that we have some physical need, and then we have some mental need, then we have some social need, and we have you know some need of our self identity, self actualization, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. And that gives us some kind of happiness, that gives us some kind of peace. So it was found that there is a stronger link with curiosity, with the sense of purpose and meaning, also with the life satisfaction. The same study, the same research, they found that uh, with those people who are curious, there is a reduction in anxiety or depression symptoms. That was another uh, that was another finding, that those people who are curious, that keep on learning different stuff, and they are less uh, they are less inflicted with anxiety or depressions, or they can manage anxiety in a healthy manner. Um, they are less prone to anxiety. So that was another thing, another research finding. There was another study which came out at 2011. Mostly it was conducted on some students, and they found that the curiosity act as a third pillar of academic performance. It's not only being intelligent, it's not only putting effort, but the curious nature act as a third pillar of academic performance. But as I told you, this study was conducted with students, but yes, it is applicable to all of us, uh, because people who are naturally curious, they have a kind of growth mindset. So they believe that they can learn anything, and they can grow, they can become better through learning and effort. So these are all about some study which shows the strong link of curiosity and our mental well-being. If you look at the life of Buddha, so Buddha was a Prince Siddhartha. His father was King Suddhodana, and Buddha spent his childhood, his youth, with utmost luxury. Since his father was a king, Buddha could get all the luxuries in life which was available at that point of time. Buddha did not have a iPhone 17, definitely, but yeah, uh, at that point of time, whatever luxuries was possible, Buddha had all of them. But Buddha was not satisfied. One day, when Buddha went to visit the city, he found old people, he found sick people, and he found the ultimate truth, death. And he asked his charioteer Chana, Chana, what are these? I did not know old age happens. I did not know sickness happens. I did not even know death happens. Because his father uh, was not willing to let him see all this truth of life. And the Chana was silent. And then he says that, O king, O great prince, not king, his father was a king. Oh, great prince, it happens to all of us. We all are going to get older. We are, all will have some kind of sickness, and one day we shall die. And then the entire paradigm changed for Buddha, and Buddha started seeking the meaning of life. Buddha started seeking the how we can go beyond that suffering. You know, not only about this reality, not only what it means to be human, not only about the suffering, but how we can go beyond that suffering. And from that point of time, the journey of Buddha started. So Buddha left the palace, he went to the jungle, the forest, and he started doing meditation with some of the other people. And then the Buddha went through different phases. Buddha stopped having food and water, and that time Buddha was so feeble and he looked like a skeleton. If you go to different Buddhist monastery, you might have seen the photo of skeleton Buddha. And then Buddha found out that no, that was not the right way. Then what is the right way? We have to take the middle path. Not so tight, not so loose. Not being hungry all the day and not overeating. Not sitting at the same place for 24 hours and not running the whole day. So the middle path. And uh, the Buddha always encouraged his disciple for asking questions. Uh, and Buddha always suggested or advised that don't believe someone uh, or don't believe any scripture or don't believe any person uh, or don't believe any tradition. You become your own lamp. And there is a famous sentence that uh, be a lamp unto yourself and always test it. Always find it out whether it is aligned with your own experience or not. So the Buddha always asked to test it against our own experience and reason, and not to follow in anything in a blind manner. So the Buddhism has this spirit of questioning and critical examinations, uh, and Buddha repeatedly told that you have to or you must ultimately find the way on our own, and putting our ideas of truth to the testing again and again, whether uh, it is experiential or not. It is not something which is written in a scripture. It is not something which a teacher told you, or maybe I am telling it to you. If it is not resonating with your own experience, then you have to find out something else. That was all about the Buddha's teaching. Uh, so the Buddha was definitely a curious person, and Buddha himself tried to find out the answer of suffering and how we can go beyond the suffering. And that actually led to his nirvana. One day he said that I'm not going anywhere. I will just sit under this Bodhi tree. I'm not going to get up until I find all the answers. And that was basically the experience of nirvana. And if you read different sutras in Buddhism, you will find there are many activities or there are many cross questioning which happens. And Buddha always encouraged people to ask him questions. Uh, so the curiosity is already there in Buddhism, but there is one difference. The Buddha went inside of himself, not about the outer knowledge, but the inner knowledge. So he meditated and he jumped into his own self and find out the answers. And when I am trying a new music instrument or language, I'm going outside. So this is a little slightly different, but yes, uh, in the aspect of neuroscience, whatever we learn, be it something internal or be it something external, it is going to change our brain over time. Okay? So that was about the life of Buddha. And wherever Buddha went, I mean, the Buddha traveled extensively in India. Now the name of those places have changed. So now the modern days are Odisha, Bihar, where you can see the Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha got the Nirvana. So Buddha came from Nepal. The Lumbini is a modern day. It's in Nepal, and then Bihar, and then he went to Varanasi in Sarnath, and there he gave his first sermon. Wherever he went, people asked him many questions, and he gave the answer. So how we can practice being curious every day? And that is the next last part of our session. Like I told you, Buddha encouraged question. So we can also ask question, because the moment we ask question, the brain start hunting for the answers, or the brain start hunting for the information. And whatever we learn in our life, we learn through asking questions and getting answers. And it could be any silly question, it could be any profound question, it could be any generic question. But sometimes we think that let it be. No need to ask question. But when you are asking question, you are actually triggering curiosity in your brain. The second thing that we can do, we can practice saying, I don't know, but I will try to find it out. It put our ego aside, and it makes us humble, and it makes us open for new knowledge. So I have seen that for some people it is difficult to say I don't know, but I keep on saying I don't know. If you say something which I do not know, I say I don't know, but I will try to find out that information. Maybe next week when our event start, I will give you that information. So I don't know is not a wall, it's a kind of door through which you can learn more and more. We can read different kind of books. So that is another thing which makes us very curious. Maybe you love reading about Buddhism, but you can also read about physics. You can also read about some travel stories. You can also read about some culture. You can also read about, you know, maybe uh, astronomy, or maybe uh, about any other subject. Uh, so reading different subject also triggers curiosity in our brain. Uh, we can also, talk to people who are different than us. Why? Uh, yeah, synthetic. I will discuss that it is very important factor for our well-being. Being curious is one of the factor which keeps us young, even though we are getting old. So another thing that we can do is talking to people who are different than us, because then we will exchange new information. Suppose I am meeting another Bodhi, that would be very boring for me. But if I meet someone who knows something else which I do not know, then we can exchange some information, some ideas, some opinion which will enrich our knowledge. Uh, and uh, every week, we can do something new, or we can try something new. Not every day, every week we can do. Maybe, just speaking a few words of a different language, maybe trying a different food, maybe reading about a different subject which we have never read it before, maybe talking to someone uh, whom we did not talk earlier, maybe a new neighbor, or maybe uh, anything. It could be anything. And nowadays we have internet. We have so much information readily available. If you want to know about, suppose, the Machu Picchu. It's a Inca civilization. You just read about it for 2 minutes, because the moment you are trying something new or reading something new or trying to learn something new, the curiosity is triggered and the dopamine is released, and your learning ability increases, your motivation increases. Also, from time to time, we can practice some self assessment or reflection. I don't know whether you were there or not, but there was one session I took it on metacognition. So metacognition was thinking about thinking. Maybe at the end of today's session, I will again share you the link of that session. If you have not attended that session, you can check it, metacognition. So sometimes you need to stop. There is a saying. I'm very interested about Japanese culture. Maybe one day I want to go to Japan. So Japan has some ancient warriors, and they are known samurai. I think you all have seen some samurai movies. There was one movie where Tom Cruise was there, The Last Samurai. And recently, I think there was a web series called Shogun. And there are many books on samurai. So there was a saying in samurai that when you are repeatedly being defeated, or you are not getting what you want, or in the war, because the samurais were warriors, when you are just not able to do anything, you take two steps back and think about your strategy. Same things in life. It's not like we always have to run and we always have to go ahead. Sometimes we have to take two steps back and just reflect. Metacognition actually teaches us that what we are thinking, has it changed? Is it helping me to become better or bitter? Or maybe uh, is there any scope of improvement? It could be anywhere. It could be in practicing dharma about Buddhism. It could be how you can cooking your food, or how you are taking care of your mental health, because ultimately it is one reality. Uh, the last thing, which is very, very uh, productive, and it's very, I should say, uh, easy, that you teach what you learned. Because when you are teaching something to another person, you are learning twice. And there was one person who kept on telling this throughout his life, and his name was Richard Feynman. He was a Nobel Prize winner, a physicist, and he kept on saying that if you want to learn something in a deeper manner, in a better manner, you teach it to someone. Because when you are teaching it to someone, you are also learning. And so that is another thing you can do whenever you are learning something. Maybe teaching does not mean and you have to go to the classroom and the students have to sit in front of you. Maybe you can teach to your friend, maybe your mother, maybe your sibling, maybe your partner, maybe someone who need that knowledge. Because when you are teaching, you are learning in a much better manner. So this is another thing that we can do. So yes, that was all about today's session, and now I'm going to read all the comments that you have written. We have two activists. Yeah. So if you remain curious, it is profoundly affect your mental health and brain health positively, positively. And you have seen that those people who are very successful in life, successful, I'm not trying to say that those people who had more money, you know, but successful. Buddha was a successful teacher, right? We remember Buddha, one of the greatest teacher of mankind. So those people who are successful, they had this innate nature of curiosity. Okay, so now if you have any question, if you want to share your opinion, please do that, because we learn from each other here. So, you know, you can share your question or your opinion. Okay, so Neo says that I agree with curiosity might take time to ask the right question, but for sure it opens up something inside me. Okay, thank you, Neo, for sharing it. Sophie says Roshi Stephen Grant used to be a Linden Lab employee. He gave a talk back in 2020 where he said in part, I think it is very sweet to look upon that self, that personality, that way that I am, that way that I can be, and look up on that with care, with curiosity, with intimacy, with friendship. Wow, wonderful. The thing about meditation is befriending yourself and simply having a warm heart and a curiosity around how you. Oh, wonderful. I find I have to be kind to myself to relax and be curious and learn about myself every day. Yes. So Buddhism about all about that, being curious and not judgmental. Uh, Fishbench says that tanha in the Dhamma is pretty broadly defined as any form of thirst or wanting. Curiosity is wanting to know. How do we draw a clean line between the two? Or is curious seeking itself a refined form of craving we are just more comfortable with? Okay, so your main question is how do we draw a clean line between the two? Or is curious seeking itself a refined form of craving we are just more comfortable with? So uh, when we are curious, we also have some desire to learn something. It is a kind of desire. But Fishven, if you uh, think about nirvana, the ultimate aim of Buddhism, that is also a kind of desire. Uh, it depends whether you are using that desire in a good manner. So in Buddhism, it is says in a dharmic manner, a dhammic manner, or just for your own self-fulfillment. So there is no right or wrong, that this is right desire, this is wrong desire, or this is the right curiosity, or this is the wrong curiosity, but something which is beneficial for all. I think Buddha would not mind having that curiosity, and something which is very self-centered, uh, that will not take the progress ahead. So this could be one compass how we can be mindful about our curiosity. Hopefully, I could give you your answer, Fishman. Sophie says the detrimental thing is inappropriate attachment, getting ourselves distracted from our path. Yeah, so something which is good for you and good for others. Something which is dharmic in nature, in Buddhist way, and something which is beneficial for all being, not only human being, but in Buddhism, all the life forms are sacred. So yes, now ultimately it is our own choice that what we are going to learn, um, and how it is going to help us to evolve, or how it is going to make us devolve from our present state. Yeah. Okay, any other questions or any other? Okay, let me share the link as well. If you want to see the past session of metacognition, just give me 1 second. I'm going to just find that link and I'll share it here. Yes, metacognition. So you can check this video later on if you are interested more about metacognition, and I hope you will find it interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you uh, found it uh, value adding synthetic, and thank you so much, Neo. So hopefully we don't have any question now, but again, later on also, if you have any question, you can put it onto the Discord channel. I'll be very glad to answer you back. Fishben says that thanks for that, Bodhi. The wrapped might suggest even the Dhamma itself should be let go eventually. Perhaps curiosity is the same, useful up to a point, but clinging to it even for good reason, it's still clinging. True, true. So at one point of time, like dharma or dhamma is also a kind of vehicle, and we have to get down from that vehicle and we need to go to our destination. So all the things we are learning in this world is all a kind of vehicle uh, which will take us from one place to another, and that is why in Buddhism, we called it Mahayana or Vajrayana. So the yana means vehicle, you know Mahayana means the great vehicle. Vajrayana means a vehicle which um, act as a thunder. In a very short time, you can learn many things. But this is again a different discussion because the Vajrayana mostly focus on the tantric part of Buddhism, but that's a different, more esoteric discussion. But yes, uh, we need to uh, find out the purpose of everything, and we need to know when to hold on and when to let go, which is again the advice of Buddha, the middle path. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. I think Vishben also asked a question 2-3 weeks back that whether BDNF had the ceiling effect, and I tried to find it out, and what I found that protein stays for around 90 minutes in our body. So even though it has a ceiling effect, it kinds of get reset after every 90 minutes. If I'm not wrong, Fish, when you asked this question, right, whether the brain derived neurotropic factor has any ceiling effect or not after we exercise, and after we do repeated exercise, whether it is going to get lower or not. So yeah, it has the lifespan of 90 minutes. Again, after that it gets reset. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, and I wish you all have a wonderful week ahead. Next Saturday again we will meet here and we will learn something new together. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now. Namaste. Bye.